He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Ngā mihi o te wā kia koutou katoa. This is In Case You Missed It, a weekly show keeping you in the loop with what's going on in Aotearoa and around the world. I'm Tane and we're here to tahuna te ahi, to ignite the fire and empower you with knowledge. Te reo Māori hit headlines this week. Taika Waititi taught Rita Ora some te reo phrases that she's incorporated into some of her lyrics. The words whenua and chur were among the latest words added to the Oxford Dictionary. And the world's first integrated Māori keyboard could be hitting our shelves soon. Scott Razor Robertson will become the new All Blacks coach after the Rugby World Cup later this year. And Finland was named the most happy country in the world, with Aotearoa coming in at number 10. In America, one of the world's most important financial institutions, the 167-year-old Swiss bank Credit Suisse, has run into trouble and been sold for 60% less than its market value as a financial crisis looms over the United States. It comes after the failure of both Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic Bank due to miscalculated risks and faulty business strategies, sending the US into a financial panic. For Aotearoa, we are unlikely to be seriously affected, at least for now, with the Reserve Bank of New Zealand confident that our banks are stable and have systems in place to avoid falling into the same problems as American banks. Back home, a swarm of earthquakes rocked areas throughout the Bay of Plenty over the weekend. GeoNet recorded more than 332 earthquakes since the early hours of Saturday morning. The first was magnitude 3.4 tremor at 3:29 a.m. It was 3 kilometres deep and 25 kilometres southwest of Whakatane near Kawero. Judy seismologist Elizabeth Abbott says swarms were common in the region, with similar sequence of quakes last felt in 2018 and 2019. The beachside community of Tokomaru Bay on the east coast remains cut off in the weeks following Cyclone Gabrielle. It's been more than a month now. Tokomaru Bay is normally accessed via State Highway 35, up the coast from Gisborne or around the Cape from Whakatane. At present, there are no other public roads into the community and convoys are being escorted through the area on forestry roads.
Kawe ware ware, don't forget us. We still need to access our resources, our whānau, and help with just healing.
Kia kaha tonu e te whānau. According to a top United Nations panel of scientists, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has announced that it's not too late to avoid a major climate catastrophe. But in order to do so, we'd have to slash nearly 2/3 of carbon pollution by 2035. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said,
"Humanity is on thin ice, and that ice is melting fast."
That means Aotearoa has to stop using coal by 2030 and ensure carbon-free electricity generation by 2035, meaning no gas-fired power plants either. Scientists have warned that unless we act now, we are looking at increasing extreme weather like recent Cyclone Gabrielle and unbearably hot summer within a decade. This is our last chance to act before it is too late. Here's something that's better for our planet though, electric vehicles. You can cut your greenhouse gas emissions, you don't need to visit a petrol station, they're cheap to run, they're zippy and quiet, and you can power them up at home. EVs are on the rise. Electric cars are a common sight on New Zealand roads. But you might be surprised that the first electric car was designed and built in 1832 by a Scottish guy called Robert Anderson. Those first electric-powered cars had a single-use battery, so they couldn't go very far before they ran out of power. The only other cars on the road at that time were powered by steam. But as more roads were built and travel times got longer, the poor old electric car couldn't keep up. And so, the electric car disappeared. Fast forward to the 1970s, and steam cars had been replaced by cars with engines powered by petrol. But by the 1980s, we realised that the carbon emissions that petrol-powered cars produced were destroying our beautiful planet. And by the 1990s, clean energy became cool and it became popular to be green. So we started looking for clean energy to run cars. And guess what? We remembered the old electric car. All we had to do was create a battery that would power a car over long distances. And we came up with a special nickel metal hydride battery that did just that. And so, electric cars were back in the game. Today, Aotearoa is one of the countries with the most people switching to electric cars.
The government's goal is to have 30% of the light fleet made up of zero-emissions vehicles by 2035.
And the more electric cars on the road, the cheaper they should get. And that's got to be good news for planet Earth. This week in 1989, Rainbow Youth was formed in Auckland, the charitable organisation whose motto is Whaia toake ngā kaunui i te pono i te marama, know who you are, be who you are, provides education, information and support and advocacy for LGBTQI+ youth in Aotearoa.
We offer a one-on-one peer support service where you can meet with a peer support worker with lived experience in the Rainbow community. We also provide housing support to help young people access safe and accessible housing, and we run social groups where young people can come and meet other Rainbow young people.
If you are in Te Whanganui Atara, you are in for a treat this weekend. Cuba Dupa, Aotearoa's most creative and diverse arts festival, takes to the streets tomorrow and Sunday. It includes mobile street theatre, pop-up performances, family entertainment, installations, dance with a wide range of styles. There's something for everyone. And the festival is free. Now that looks like a good time. Well, that's in case you missed it for the week. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Friday. Have a great weekend. Te kona.